Whose fault is it that you didn't graduate? Is it because your mom didn't pay your tuition? Grandma said she paid 2 yuan in tuition, but you didn't go to the exam. You insisted on watering the vegetables instead. If I get up early, have you ever made breakfast for us? At 6 in the morning, you're more concerned about your vegetable garden than cooking for us. Your son is your son, and your daughter is your daughter. They can buy their food with their pocket money. I have nothing, and if I cook leftovers, you scold me for eating your breakfast, claiming you'll go hungry. Do you think I won't be hungry if I don't eat? I responded passionately, unwilling to stop. What's your attitude? I say one thing and you retort 10. You're the older brother. Look at this. I'm treated like a daughter. They treat you like royalty. I say one thing and she remarks 10. I'm doing this for the family. Do you think it's easy for me? My brother had initially wanted to stay out of it, but hearing Mom's last words, he couldn't hold back. If you say another word, see if I don't knock you. She's your sister. How dare you talk back? When I heard my brother speak, recalling the times he had backed me up when we were younger, I didn't want to clash with him either. I felt I had to swallow my pride. I slammed my bowl and chopsticks down. I'm full. I cooked dinner, so it's your turn to wash the dishes. I intended to push back my chair and leave the table, putting it back against the wall. Unexpectedly, as I turned, I accidentally knocked the teapot off the table. It hit the ground with a crash, shattering into several pieces, water spilling everywhere. Shock hit me. Oh no! I quickly tidied my chair and fled from the dining table to my room. But Mom wasn't going to let it slide. You break things just because I scold you. You're letting that temper grow. Not getting into college is your own problem. You keep tossing things around, and this attitude will stick. My brother was usually Mom's enforcer. He did whatever she said. At that moment, he charged at me. I sensed danger and dashed out. Slamming the wooden door behind me. He reacted just as quickly, using force to twist the doorknob open. As I ran toward the third-floor platform, he caught up with me, yanking me back hard. I lost my balance and rolled down the 12 stairs, tumbling until I hit the second-floor landing. I felt a sharp pain shoot through my sides and lower back, my knees feeling stiff and sore. Yet, I endured it and sprang up immediately. Leaning against the wall, I couldn't see clearly, but I kept a watchful eye on my brother standing in the light at the top of the stairs. Saying nothing. I sensed him pause briefly, but he resumed quickly. Instinctively, I pushed him away with all my strength. Taking a deep breath, I ran back up to the third floor, locking the iron door behind me, closing the wooden door, and rushing into my room. I yanked my comfort cat from the bed and crawled into the wardrobe, shutting the door behind me. Panic overwhelmed me. I was scared and drenched in sweat, having completely lost the composure I had in front of my family moments ago. At that moment, I couldn't feel the sharp pain from tumbling down the stairs or the aching in my knees. I only knew that I had just brushed past death. All I could hear was the rapid thump, thump, thump sound of my heartbeat. 6 outside the iron door on the third floor, my brother was filled with rage, kicking the door and shouting for me to open up. But at that moment, I could no longer hear the sounds from outside. Inside the dark wardrobe, my eyes were still wide with fear as I clutched my comfort cat, mumbling unconsciously, "Sister. Sister." I stared into the darkness, spiraling into panic, desperately chasing after a tiny glimmer of light in front of me. It felt like something was pushing me from behind. I stumbled and fell, but I forced myself to crawl forward. A chill brushed past my ear, and I heard, "Stop crawling. Look at me." I froze, my neck mechanically turning toward the source of the voice. Sanson. When I woke up again, it was already the middle of the night. I was still hidden in the wardrobe. I opened a small crack in the door. Tonight, the moonlight was bright enough to see through the window. I could make out my room even without the lights on. "Sister," I murmured. Then the memories flooded back. I was not the daughter of this family. Her real daughter had died on the day of her full moon celebration, succumbing to a high fever. She had died in the midst of the power struggle between her mother-in-law and her. Mom was furious that her mother-in-law made her work in the vegetable garden 7 months pregnant, insisting she should have given birth already. What angered her more was that her premature daughter had been born looking frail, fighting for every breath. After her birth, instead of breastfeeding, Mom's mother-in-law, unable to bear the sight, fed her porridge to help her survive day by day. Unfortunately, the little girl kept running fevers during the wintertime, and no one noticed her condition. The Lunar New Year didn't help either. It was only when Dad returned from Yangqing that he discovered her high fever, and by the time they rushed her to the clinic, it was too late. She died within 10 minutes. Afterward, on the way back to the village, Dad found another premature baby girl and swapped her for his daughter. Then he took Mom and my brother to live in another city, leaving the newborn with Grandma. The villagers, fearing that the premature baby wouldn't survive and would bring misfortune, somehow ended up passing her to the old woman, who took care of her until she turned 2. But even then, she passed away. On the day she died, I was not far from her. Afterward, she floated beside me and said she wanted her father to come and take her home. She wanted a family, a warm and cozy home like her aunts. I asked her how she died. She said that day she heard someone calling her, turned her head to respond, and then everything changed. The baby girl wanted me to replace her because she could only stay by my side. And I was an orphan from the village, raised by the kindness of others. My figure was similar to that of the baby girl. We were both premature. So I put on her clothes, mimicking her as I held a little bamboo umbrella, walking in front of her aunt's house, and then I saw the man. Her father. He rode in on a 28-inch Phoenix bicycle, and without alarming anyone from grandma or aunt's family, he directly took me away. 5 that evening, my brother came home for dinner and went on about his experiences at the hospital. I had lost interest in what he had to say about his work. In the past, I enjoyed hearing him talk about surgeries, like opening frogs or stitching pigskin. There was a certain curiosity about things I had never encountered before. At least it felt more real than what I saw on TV. Hey, let's not talk about the hospital while we're eating, okay? Come on, we're home now, just drop it, my sister interjected. I can't even talk about it? I have even more explosive stories to share. My brother nonchalantly continued eating. You can say whatever you want, just not about your internship. Do you still want to eat? My sister replied. Annoyed. Suddenly, Mom chimed in. Now that you've finished your college entrance exam and didn't get into a university, what are your plans? I was half-focused, shoveling food in while contemplating how to leave. When I heard her words, my heart sank. What did she mean by that? I quickly stole a glance at her, then looked down, making a big show of chewing my food, pretending I didn't understand. What plans? I set down my bowl, paused, and picked up some steamed tilapia with my chopsticks. The tilapia had fewer bones than grass carp or carp. Dipping the fish in soy sauce, it was slippery and delicious. One fish could accompany several bowls of rice, but unfortunately, I couldn't eat a whole fish alone. I finished the bowl of rice quickly. Since you didn't get into college and you're already 18, you should consider going to work. Your cousin is a team leader at a garment factory, and your uncle manages a lingerie factory. You can choose where to go, and I can talk to them for you. Listening to Mom, I kept my peripheral vision on my brother and sister across the table, noting they didn't seem to have any hidden agendas. It was Mom who kept the secret about changing my application. I wasn't in the mood to engage in a roundabout conversation with her, so I simply responded with an "oh," and said nothing more. Mom heard my brief response and was irritated, hurling accusations. Look at how the neighbor's son graduated from college and got a job as a civil servant, while his daughter works for a telecommunications company. And you can't even get into college. What good are you? Useless. I'd have been better off without you. I looked at Mom in disbelief. How could someone be so shameless? If it weren't for her secretly changing my application, I wouldn't have missed my chance at college. I qualified for a second-tier university with 5 points to spare. How dare she call me useless when she never even finished 2nd grade? I had planned to hold it in, but after winning the lottery, my spirits were high, and I couldn't help but retort. If I'm a waste, then what are you? At least I have my high school diploma. You didn't even graduate from elementary school. If you call me a waste, then you're a huge waste, a piece of garbage, the scum of garbage. As soon as I finished my sentence, my brother slammed down his chopsticks and shot me a fierce glare. My sister remained indifferent, continuing to eat her meal. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Mom's expression shift to one of someone about to cry, her hand constantly brushing against her eyes. Watching her squirm was nauseating. I may not have graduated, but I'm still your mother. Isn't school supposed to teach you to respect your elders? Did you bury your education in a dog's belly? I wake up early and work hard. Who do you think I do it for? You think you've grown wings and want to fly away now? I choked on my words, biting down on my frustration.